Hi everyone, Grant K here for the Smoke Learning channel. In the previous video, we looked at the finer tracking details when it comes to Gmasks. In the penultimate video of the Smoke 2015 Gmask series, we start applying context to all the tools you could use with the Gmask. I'm going to highlight a series of workflows that you can use to follow along with your own material. Let's get started with the first example. When it comes to working with the Gmasks as timeline effects or ConnectFX, you pretty much add the tool or drag the node, and off you go. However, if you enter the Modular Keyer through ConnectFX or Action, the default startup behavior is for keying with the master keyer. To use the Modular Keyer for rotoscoping, you do not need to manually delete all the nodes. You can simply click this pull-down menu and choose the Gmask option to reset the Modular Keyer with just a Gmask node. The pipeline is rearranged, and you can begin to mask your subject matter. The second workflow example is when you have built a 3D composite in Action and you are using the Modular Keyer to mask something out. So in the Action media list, I'll double-click in the Keyer column to enter into the Modular Keyer. I have already masked something out to save time. However, I want to tweak this in context with all the other layers in the 3D composite. Ensure the Gmask node is selected. Press Option 2 for a dual screen split. In the right view, press F1 so we see the front input of the Gmask with the mask outline. In the left view, press Shift F1 to see the Action Contextual View. Now you can't tweak the Gmask in this view because you are viewing the Action 3D composite. However, you can go to the right view and start adjusting the Gmask. So you can see where the Gmask will affect your media, but you can also monitor it interactively in the context of the Action 3D composite. The third workflow example is not so different from the Action context example you've just seen. The big difference is that you're working in ConnectFX and you can monitor results anywhere within the flow graph. So I have a Gmask node rotoscoping my media at the beginning of the flow graph. This is then split out to different processes and eventually recombined using a comp node. In order to see the context of your work while working in the Gmask node, you need to tell ConnectFX what node will be a contextual view. Hold the dash keyboard shortcut and click on the comp node. A C1 symbol appears under the node telling you that this node is mapped to a contextual viewpoint. Now double-click on the Gmask node for its controls. Select the right view and press F1 for the front input of the node with the Gmask outline. To see the contextual view at the same time, select the left view. Press Ctrl 1 to bring up the defined contextual view. Now you can adjust the Gmask in the front view and see the results update in both views. Unlike the Action contextual view, the Gmask's outline does appear in the ConnectFX contextual view. This is because your context view is actually a rendered result and not a 3D composite. So you can tweak the Gmask in either view and you will see the changes occur in both viewers. The final workflow example we're going to look at is how to use the Gmasks in context with existing keys, mats or alphas that may need further refinement. For example, you have keyed a subject and you wish to remove something you couldn't key. So the first thing you would do is connect the fill into the red input of the Gmask node. And connect the mat or alpha into the blue input of the Gmask node. Double-click on the Gmask for its controls. Hover over the result view and press F1 for the front view. Because we fed the fill into the front input of the Gmask node, this is what you will see in the front view. This allows you to create a Gmask and draw around the subject to isolate it from the rest of the shot. Once the Gmask is closed, press F4 to see the result. Now the Gmask has filled in the existing mat that was there, and everything else around it is still visible. In the middle of the Gmask controls, you will find a button called Region of Interest. When you enable this button, everything on the outside of the Gmask will be filled with black, and the inside of the Gmask will preserve the incoming matte. This allows you to keep what you want and get rid of the things you don't. In the final video of the Gmask series for Smoke 2015, we'll repurpose Gmasks for something completely different. Don't miss Gmasks being used as paths for text. Comments, feedback and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the Smoke Learning channel for future videos.